Big flavoursome broths are trending massively right now, so let's jump on that bandwagon and ride it to France, where this particular dish originates.
It's lean, crammed full of veg, and has a French secret sauce that will blow your pantalons off.
Plus, Kenwood have hooked us up, so there's no knackering pestle and mortar work.
Merci, Ken.
The root of this dish begins with the roots.
The band that played Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show.
No.
English
roots.
That would have been a great video.
And suggestions from these guys: celery, carrot, onion, and we're also going in with leek. All of these kind of need washing. Some of them need peeling.
It's the biggest leek I've ever seen.
We might only need about half of this. It is a rather big leek. We'll peel what needs peeling, we'll wash what needs washing, and we'll chop it up nice and rough. This dish is inspired from something called pot au feu, which literally translates to pot on the fire. And that's because it would be a pot on the fire, and you'd throw in kind of whatever you had kicking around, whatever was seasonal, in this case lots of root vegetables. It's just good hearty veg. There's no gluten, there's no dairy, so if you have any intolerances, you don't have to worry about it. It's just brilliant. All of this chopped up veg goes into the largest pan you own, along with about a teaspoon of peppercorns, a little sprig of thyme, and now for the turkey bone. And that is a turkey drumstick.
Now that only reminds me of one thing. Disney.
And the reason we want to cook this on the bone is for all the flavour. We are going for turkey because it's slightly leaner than chicken.
Okay.
But to be honest with you, that's not a part of the issue here. We're going to cook it with the skin on, we're going to take the skin off later on. But more importantly, this is also a great dish to do with leftovers. Oh. So if you've roasted a turkey, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, or even a chicken at any time of the year, you can put the cooked carcass or big bones in here and do the same thing, or you can go from raw. So 2 of these big bones.
You do love a big bone, don't you?
This is barely even fitting in the pan, it's that big. And then, while I wash my hands with raw turkey, you're going to pour as much cold water over the top of here to submerge them.
Why would you wash your hands with raw turkey? That sounds like the most backwards thing to do.
I'm going to wash my hands that have raw turkey on them, and you're going to fill up the pan with cold water. We're not even going to season it. It's got the peppercorns in there, but no salt as yet. We're just going to bring it up to a very, very gentle simmer. And because it's raw, about 90 minutes. If it's a cooked bone and you're just getting the flavour out of it, oh, I've done it again. Cooks better if you put the one on, yeah. If you're using cooked bones, you'll probably get away with about an hour just for those flavours, 2.5. So far, a couple of minutes in the kitchen. We can get ahead while that comes up to boil with a bit more veg prep. A couple of turnips, some spuds, white potatoes, and celeriac or celery root. And these, again, more of your suggestions that are going to make this dish incredible. These, if you put them now, will overcook. Okay. So we're only going to add these in once the turkey is cooked, plus we can take the turkey out and give us space to cook these. So these will need peeling and dicing. We're going to give this chance to come up to a simmer and then 90 minutes to cook. And our turkey drumsticks are done. If you want to check, cut right into the thickest part, make sure the juices run clear, there's no pink bits, but 90 minutes of simmering should be absolutely fine. These come out and that gives us a bit more space in the pan for all the stuff we chopped up.
Lovely.
So, pot au feu, French dish. Throw whatever you want into it. It tastes awesome and comforting. There's one thing that you then serve on the side that people stir in themselves. Ooh. That takes this to a whole nother level. It's called pistou.
Pesto.
Pistou.
Pesto.
A French pesto. Pistou. And all you need to do is blend it all up in a spice grinder or a small food processor until it is pulverised. You can do it by hand in a pestle and mortar because it's so much easier.
That is a colour.
Vibrant, right? And...
Sorry, Kermit.
Delicious. One last job while we wait for our veg to cook, and that's to prepare our turkey. So like we said, we're going to get rid of the skin, and then we're going to strip up all the meat. It's all dark meat, and we're going to chop it or strip it or pull it, whatever you want, so you've got a nice plate of meat. Get rid of all the bones and any of the ligaments in the middle that are a bit tough and chewy.
It's been 7 days.
No, I mean, it's not been the quickest cook, but it has been easy. And now we plate. Plenty of that veg. Make sure you scoop out, you get some carrots, some celery. The turkey might have cooled off a little bit, so put that back into the broth and just stir it through, and that won't take a second to warm back up again. now's the time to season all of this gorgeous broth. So a little bit of salt, stir it all through and make sure you're happy with it. Now that it's reduced down, you've got all the flavours from all the veg, then you put all this over the top, and that is delicious. But it's not finished, because this is the best bit, the pistou. And this you can either throw it at the table, people can add their own, or just before you go, just a few dollops of it. Look at the colour, you know how potent that garlic and basil is. It doesn't need much. That's just enough. As you mix it in and eat it, it's incredible. That is a bowl of food that will make anyone feel better. It's our one pot turkey bone broth, sorted.
I can't tell if this is a fork or a spoon situation.
It's a little bit of both, but the broth is the bit that makes me go wobbly at the knees.
Ooh. Pleasant thought. Oh, do you know what I mean when I say warming? It's just like, it warms you all the way down to your soul.
Right through to the core. And that pistou, look, you don't need it because that is delicious, but the pistou is just so delicious. You kind of stir it in and it takes it to a whole nother place.
It's like, you suddenly get a drop of that pistou and it's like someone's punched you in the face after you had a warm cuddle with them, but in a really nice way.
Seriously, give this a go if you want a bit of a pick-me-up. You can get the recipe down below.
It's definitely going to make me feel better.